How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Elite Battle League's Power Rankings for Week 2. A couple of things happened this week. We got a couple of things to talk about. Probably is going to be a short little video here, and we'll explain why in a moment. But first things first, I'm definitely not alone. I am accompanied by one of the greatest co-hosts ever in the world that I could ever ask for. Derek, always more videos. Go ahead and say hello, sir.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? We appreciate y'all clicking on this video. And yeah, got a short video, got a lot to talk about. We're ready to get into it. It's late. We are doing this very late because, as you can see, I'm wearing my B. The Bengals are playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday, so this man was generous enough to get this recording over with so I could have my whole Sunday cleared. But yeah, let's get right into it, bro.
Awesome. So, jumping right into it, we're going to go ahead and go into the number 12 spot. Number 12 spot is held by Ace, who was the head coach of the Redwood Meowths. Keyword was, unfortunately, due to some events that have occurred, the Redwood Meowths and the coach of the Redwood Meowths are no longer with us in the league, and they have been taken over by Nate Tube, who will be the head coach of the Walton Wingles. So definitely expect some plays come week 3. Unfortunately, we don't have any videos for Ace. Currently, they're standing with an 0-2, -11, and they're currently in 6th place in the Mega Division. Nothing else to say here, so you're okay for us to move on to number 11?
Yeah, just if Ace, if you're watching this, buddy, you know, you still got friends here. If you need anything, reach out to us. And but yeah, sad to lose him. Got a new guy in here, gonna see how he battles, and gonna be excited for that. So
alrighty, yeah, for sure. If you ever need anything, of course, definitely reach out. And yeah, hope everything is moving forward. Now, moving on to number 11. Number 11 is held by Isomorphic, who is the head coach of the Akron Axios. Again, same little deal. Unfortunately, due to some data issues, we don't have a video for us to be able to watch on his side. So currently, they're at an 0-2 with a -8, and they're in 5th place of the Mega Division. That being said, are you also okay to move on to number 10, I think it is. Yeah, 10.
Yeah, you know, his video came against me, so if you didn't have a chance to watch it, you can watch it on my channel.
There you go.
You know, some stuff went my way. We'll talk about it in my video when it comes to my turn. I mean, when it comes to my spot here on the rankings. But yeah, it was a fun match, and we'll get to it later. Not much more we can say here because we didn't get to see his side.
It would have been nice to see his side, not for nothing. I enjoyed watching his side for week 1, but certain things happen you can't control. Excuse me. Moving on to number 10, we're going to be going on to the Doorman, who is coaching the Texas Tyrannotars, and they're currently in the number 10 spot of the power rankings. Currently, they're standing at an 0-2 with a -5, currently in 5th place of the Dynamax division. So I do have a couple of notes here for this one. And then, you know, we'll bounce back and forth to see, you know, who has what, like we usually do. But for this one, I was a little shocked to not have the Excel Rock have Excel Rock. Yep. Did I say that right? Lycanroc have the Excel Rock. It's late. I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's very late.
Yeah, but the Lycanroc didn't have Excel Rock. If you guys didn't know, and if you guys were wondering, is it only a signature move for the Dust form? It's not. It's a signature move for both the Day form and the Dust form. So a little shocked that he didn't bring it. Kind of curious, but he mentioned it. It was a big misplay on sending the Dracovish out on the Mimikyu, who is a fairy type. And when the Mimikyu did play rough, it did massive damage to the Dracovish. I'm surprised it didn't OHKO it, so I wonder what EV spread he has on that Dracovish. Needless to say, that's one misplay. Another thing as well, in regards to the Gyro Ball that he had on the Snack Attacka. Just a quick little thing. If you guys didn't know, Gyro Ball is only really useful the slower the Pokemon using it is. So Trick Room obviously speeds you up and whatnot, so it's not going to be really that much effective. So Trick Room kind of nursed Gyro Ball out. Would explain why it didn't do that much damage or as much as he had hoped on that one Pokemon. Another thing as well, Seismitoad versus Blaziken. He was very surprised that the Seismitoad outsped the Blaziken. Not for nothing, we were too until we did a little bit of research, and it's probably all dependent on what Eevee spread Max has on that Blaziken, and what he has and what Alan has on the Seismitoad. It's possible that could be an adamant nature Blaziken. Regardless, if you need to, just go for the kill if you're unsure, because you never know. You could end up outspeeding, and maybe that water type move could have helped in beating that Blaziken. It could have won him the match. You never know. But I do have one last thing on this one before we hand it off to Derek, of course. I do like his thought process in thinking that the rain is going to help stop, not do so much damage with the fire move. And it did, because it saved Lancelot. For what it's worth, it saved Lancelot for a split second from being killed that one turn. But of course, it being quite weak to fire, that's how it suffered that much damage. But like I said, for what it was worth, because it died after the speed boosts. And that's pretty much all of my notes for the Doorman, again, who's the head coach of the Texas Tyranitar. Anything you'd like to say, my friend?
Alan has impressed us the last couple of weeks, and this may be a loss for him this week, but he was still very impressive. We loved your opening, because we watched all the matches together, opening the door. Loved that. You touched on the taunt, you touched on that. And one thing I have noticed about our boy is, as he is making these moves and these decisions, he's predicting as he's like, okay, with the Quagsire, I don't know if it'll have water absorb, but he's already like, his trainer's throwing out the Pokeball when he's like, oh, it might have water absorb, and he still went for the water move. You do have a timer. It is very short, but feel free to sit there and think on them decisions a little bit more. I know last week he got to clicking, made some misclicks, and a lot of misplays this week too. But another positive thing from him is, as he was making all these misplays, he was learning from all his mistakes, and that's what will make you better as you move along. So this is a great team that's 0-2 right now, and I ain't gonna be shocked. As I said last week, he's gonna give all of his opponents a great match. He probably get his first win. He's definitely not gonna go winless, because this is a good team. And you touched on everything, the Seismitoad with the rain dance. If he went for a water move there, this is probably a different story. But still, good showing by the Texas Tyranitars, and excited to see what he does later on.
Just to piggyback on one little thing that you mentioned that the timer is very short and all that stuff. I'm not sure if Alan is still thinking about it and whatnot, but just want to clarify that there's a difference between purposely stalling the timer, as was seen last season, and taking your time to think, or spamming a certain move, because a certain move is a strat. No matter how annoying it is, it's a strat. You're not stalling the timer purposely, and it's not considered stalling either if you're literally taking the time to think. So if you perhaps do what Derek suggested and take that extra bit of time to think about your moves, that might also play into a factor in your favor to possibly win the next match. Regardless, very impressive play from a new coming team. I can't wait to see the rest of how your season goes, my friend. All right, so if there's nothing else for the number 10 spot, are we ready to move on to number 9?
Let's do it.
All right. Number 9 is going to be Evie Girl, who is the head coach of the San Diego Sylveons, aka the commissioner's wife. So a couple of things here. The notes that I have here are not that long because of how the match went. Of course, definitely check out how the match went. This is going to be located, of course, in Stone Family 64's channel because all of their videos are together. So my notes are the following. First off, I got to commend her on the Gengar kill, because that was, if the Gengar had lived, it would have been doing damage all over the place. So get it out of the way. Great move, having the Zoroark as the lead, which brings us to the point with the Zoroark. That was a really great move on her part with Imposter, I think it is. I think it's Imposter with the ability. So very good move. I love that. Maybe one key point that may have cost her the match, and I think it's just one misplay. And that misplay, of course, is what caused cost her the match. But having one misplay versus other matches that has multiple ones, you know, I'd rather have that, you know. And that one misplay, of course, is just the Sylveon versus the Goodra against the Komodo. So I would have definitely used the Sylveon. She knows that, you know. I know that conversations have been had, so she knows that. But still, just the one misplay, and that's what caused her to lose the match. Currently, if we didn't go over it, of course, currently Tara is standing at an 0-2 with a -8 and in 4th place in the Mega Division. Of course, anything that you have to say, my friend?
So I got to experience this one pretty early because I helped train Tara, me and Yeltnab. So we got to work with her a little bit. She wanted to train with us, kind of change things up a little bit. So we come up with this plan, you know, and Latin had answers for it, unfortunately. But I think that now that she's starting to see like what you guys have recommended for her to do and what me and Bob pitched in our ideas, now that she's getting all these different ideas and getting help from other coaches as well, I think that she's going to bounce back and be able to get her first win.
Oh yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time.
I talked about it last week too, and I'm gonna talk about it again, dude. The energy that she brings, she's having so much fun with this, and that's what this is about, man. This is about having fun, keeping it going. The crit on the Lucario definitely mattered. That went in her favor.
Oh, yeah.
To help, you know, get that first strike. You know, she knocked out 2 before Latin had to probably rethink some of his strategies to use against her. And, you know, Latin's just a smart player. He's probably been doing this a little bit longer than Tara has, so that's kind of why it went in his favor towards the end. But no doubt, she's learning more about her team, and she'll be ready within the weeks to come.
For sure. And like we said before, can't wait to see how the rest of her season goes. But that is all that we have for number 9. If we're ready to move on for number 9, let's go on to number 8, who is the commissioner himself, Stone Family 64, Matty Ice of the Stone Family. Again, taking the number 8 spot here in the rankings. Currently, Mr. Matt is 0-2 with a -6, 6th place in the Dynamax division. But of course, we've all seen this before in the past seasons, how he'll have a slow start with the season and then he'll just bounce back. My lights are turning different colors. I just realized that. We're just going to roll with it.
We're full of technical issues tonight.
I know. We're going to roll with it because lighting is whatever at this point. But a couple of things on this one. I do have quite a bit of notes. First thing, Moody Glalie. I personally don't like Glalie having that ability. I don't like the ability, period. It's a little unpredictable for me. You never know what stats are going to be raised and what stats aren't. And sometimes if you're lucky, just the right one happens to be raised and whatnot. I don't know. Personally, I don't like it. But I can see the benefit that other people have in using it. So I'm not going to knock it, you know. Personally, I think that Moody Glalie might be better suited for shorter battles or battles that you know that the Glalie can handle without an issue versus longer ones. As our friend Offline Nuzlocke, who you guys should definitely check out, by the way, because he's been helping several other coaches with their matches. But as our friend Offline Nuzlocke says, First Blood often determines more or less how the match is going to go. First Blood in this match went to Yellinb. Unfortunate burn on the Dragapult that has a physical set. I believe we can now safely say that burn status is probably his official least favorite status condition. I'm pretty sure at this point. When the Cortana used, the Grimmsnarl used Reflect to obviously, you know, weaken physical attacks from any of his Pokemon, which the Reflect helped his team a lot, no lie. Or Yeltnab's team, excuse me. But the crit on the Grimmsnarl mattered because it was able to get O-code by the And that's pretty much all that I have there. FYI, if you do check out their matches, in particular this match, and if you hear bullet holes and hit them through the bullet hole, they're playing COD. I had to ask what was going on. Anyway, so that's all of my notes there. What do you got, my friend?
Yo, a lot of doubt coming from our commissioner, and don't beat yourself up, Stone. 2 hard opponents back to back, and you're getting ready to get you an easy one because we take each other on this week. So don't stress too much, man. Come out and kick my butt. But you know, other than about everything you touched, you know, the burn on the Dragapult definitely sucked.
Yeah.
Definitely hurt that Pokemon. I'm gonna disagree with you. I kind of like Moody as an ability because yes, it is random, but at the same time, you know, it can benefit you.
Oh no, I'm not knocking it.
So,
I agree 110%. It's just that the fact that you never know, and you know, it also drops something. And in this case, Matt was unfortunate to have the special attack drop, which, you know.
Yep, did happen. But you know, he drafted a Freeze Drymon for the Drizzle team, so we're probably gonna talk about this thing next week too. We'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, a lot of things went in Bob's favor here, which was unfortunate for old Commish. But you know, like you said, he loses a bunch in the beginning and then bounces back towards the end. So we'll just have to see how the rest of it goes. This was a fun match to watch, and it was a good match. I think it was he knocked out 3 of Bob's Pokemon. He was kind of on the run there for a little bit, then was able to bounce back and give Bob a good game. So we'll just have to see what Stone does in the coming weeks.
For sure. But if that is it for the number 8 spot, of course we are going to be touching number 7. Number 7 on the rankings is held by PokéPidge, and he is the coach of the Essex Espeons, the Shield Wall of Essex, as I like to call them. And boy, is that wall tough to crack. Is that wall tough to crack, man?
This man was a part of the match of the week, 100%.
Listen. Offline himself said this is one formidable team, and I can see it. Of course, their opponent was the Miami Dragonites, who is coached by yours truly. And I usually have wall breakers on my team, but Jesus, this wall was hard to crack. Pidge just did play after play, really hard. Like I said, really hard to break, but his predictions were on point when he said that, oh, is he going to bring out the Charizard? Oh, is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? They were on point. I got to love the props that Pidge uses and the energy. And again, special shout outs to Pidge. I know that at the time, you know, UK time and our time is a little bit different. And I do want to thank him so much for working with me on the time. It was 8 p.m. or 8 something p.m. On the East Coast here in the United States, but over there it was 1 a.m. and he had gotten off of work and everything. So the fact that he was able to work with me and be flexible with me with the time, just huge shouts out to Pidge. He's just an amazing person. I love the props, as I said. Go ahead and check out the video. It's very fun to watch. His site is very fun to watch. Just go ahead and check it out. And that's all I have to say on this one. Currently, Pidge is at 1-1 with a +2, and they're in 3rd place in the Dynamax division. What do you have to say on this one?
Listen, Pidge, I got to experience it last week. He's a great battler. You got to experience it. Although, you know, this week didn't come in his favor, he still showed that he can do this. And it will, you know, I don't know if this man's going to lose another game. That's how confident I am in this PokéPidge's team, the Espeons, just because he knows what to do. He talked about bringing a wrong moveset on his Orbeetle, which it didn't really matter there because you were outspeeding that no matter what he had on it. So, you know, maybe something he needs to pay attention to because the next time it may be something that matters. So it may have been, you know, like you said, it was late in the night. He may have grabbed the wrong one. I don't know how many he has built, but definitely something he needs to keep an eye on. I love what he did with the Snorlax, running Yawn and Curse with that because he's already slow anyways, so losing a little bit of speed ain't going to matter one bit. So I love the Snorlax build, and I love the panic button. He cut to himself clicking the panic button because he knew what was coming in. But he still handled himself well. You know, one or two more tweaks, this may win a different way. You don't know. I know the man's sitting right here, but he'll agree with me. A couple things go Pidge's way. This match is different.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you'll touch base on that once we move on later on in the rankings for sure. Don't want to spoil any more what you might have to say on that one, but
yeah,
it's just this match was something, man. I don't have anything else to say on Pidge. Just an amazing battler, amazing person, just all around. Check him out, and check out all the other coaches as well. Everybody's equally as amazing. And while we're going ahead and talking about the other coaches, you know what else you should do? Drop a like on the video, make it turn blue, subscribe to the official Elite Battle League channel. It's free. I promise you won't be charged. And that way you can also be notified of when more of the weekly roundups and the power rankings and the top 5 fails, which is a new little branch of the Elite Battle League that is done by Latin Luigi himself. Hilarious little videos. Definitely check those out as well. I promise you'll enjoy every little bit of them.
Oh yeah.
But is that all you have to say for number 7?
And I also liked his Mew in this matchup too.
Oh yeah, that awesome. Mew set was something else.
Yeah, that Mew set was very good. That was the last thing I wanted to touch on, because we already know next week Mew comes, it's completely different because you can put anything you want to on that Pokemon. Yeah. So excited to see what the Mew does moving forward and to see what the Espeons do because they are impressive. They're impressing the heck out of everybody in the league.
Yeah, for sure. But if that is it for number 7, let's go ahead and move on to number 6. Number 6 is held by me, and I am the coach of the Miami Dragonites. I'm going to let Derek take the lead on this one, and I will just throw in 1 or 2 points in regards to this. Go ahead, take it away.
Yes. So talking about Pidge, we go right into the Dragonites, who this match of the week, there's not even close because there was a lot of stuff happen with the top teams. We'll get into that here in a minute. But you did draw first blood, and you know, you and Offline like to say, you draw first blood, it usually falls in your favor. This one just pushing it just a little bit, but you were able to pull it out. Your Eternus living like it did was huge. And I also love the return of the headbang. This man was into it. He was there. He was staying calm. He was getting excited. And he was talking to me. He's like, oh, man, I should have cut that out. No, you got to leave it in there because that's what we like to see. We like to see the excitement of our coaches here in the EBL. And you definitely brought that to the table. And, yeah, if you don't quit using the line, well, guys, I guess we're going to lose this one. I'm okay with that. Yeah, stop. Stop with that. Okay. Because you could have Caterpie as your last Pokemon, and we know that you're going to still pull it out there, champ.
Listen. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm very confident in my abilities to battle, okay? Not to toot my own horn or anything, but the past records prove it. This match, I was completely lucky. Low roll on the Psychic from the Raichu, living on 1. Pidge putting out the stellar move to paralyzing that Eternatus, because if he didn't paralyze the Eternatus, it wouldn't have been as close as it was, for sure, hands down. He paralyzed it, Psychic. It was unfortunate on the Raichu. I firmly believe RNG plus luck was definitely on my side with this one. It wasn't skill. It wasn't skill. It was sheer dumb luck. I firmly believe it. Taking use of the sun. I mean, the sun's out. It boosts the power of the Max Flare. Why not? I knew that it was going to do more damage. I didn't expect to win it. You know, severe type disadvantages with Garmanitan and the Dialga. Severe type disadvantage. The fact that match right there, those last two, it mattered and who was outspeeding who. If that Dialga outsped the Darmanitan, game over. Yeah. I'm not even sure I brought the right Darmanitan as far as natures now that I'm thinking about it. Regardless, if that was the case and I didn't bring the right Pokemon, and I'm just now thinking about it now, even more so the fact that it was luck that helped me out with this one. There's no other way to put it. I'm just calling it. It was luck.
But it was still a fun match.
Oh, yeah.
It was still entertaining. and definitely the one that you need to watch. We had a must-watch last week. This was the must-watch game, so make sure you guys check that out. But I went through all my notes, and you touched in there. Is there anything else you want to throw in?
Nah, let's move on. Move on to number 5, right of course. Move on to number 5. We have Yeltnab, who is the head coach of the Indiana Igglybuffs. I can never get over that name. The Indiana Igglybuffs, they do it again. They fight against Stone Family 64. Yeltnab is just crushing the family, man. He
no mercy.
Exactly, just no mercy. He strikes first, he strikes hard, no mercy. This man just went Cobra Kai on the Stone Family. You know, hit him hard. Went through the wife, went through the husband. No hopes. I'm just messing. Listen. Joking aside, Yeltnab played really well. His predictions were on point. Not much to say here with this one. He says he did a misplay. I didn't catch a misplay. I don't know about you, Derek. I didn't catch a misplay. So I'm curious to see what Bob thought was a misplay. And of course, this man is definitely turning out to be a really good battler, because this is the second time where he has not. Did he Dynamax? He didn't Dynamax, did he?
No, he did not Dynamax.
He did not Dynamax. This is the second week in a row where he did not Dynamax. So it kind of makes you wonder, do we all suck? I'm just messing. I'm just messing. But Yeltnab right now is currently standing with a 2-0 with the +7, and he is in second place in the Mega Division. Anything you'd like to mention on this one?
Yeah, so it was so funny because he even felt bad for Stone when he got that cheap burn with the flamethrower, because he kept apologizing to Stone. And Bob, stop being nervous, man. You're here. You're a part of this, and you need to just take a hold of it and own what you're doing, because he's put on 2 good shows. Excited to see what he does against another undefeated team. That's going to be a great matchup this week between him and Game Reviews. Very excited.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yep. So those two are going to go at it. But, you know, once again, it's another week. Bob's showing his knowledge of the game, man. He has showed that he has played Pokemon since he could walk. And, you know, because he has so much knowledge about all Pokemon. And he knew throwing in, like you said, with his predictions. And he was like, okay, I know I'm faster here. I know that my attack's up here. I'm going to get this kill. He has just been on top of it. He drew first blood. The reflect he put up was huge. And like we said, Bob, just stop doubting yourself, bro. Stop being nervous and just get in there and own the league, because you're doing so well at it right now.
Yeah, man. For one, I face Bob week 5, the very last match of the season. I can't wait. I can't wait. I've been wanting to battle Bob for so long, ever since I've known that he's been helping you throughout, you know, the past seasons, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see what this man's about, and I finally get the chance this season. So I can't wait. That's definitely going to be a match. I don't know who's going to win on that one. It's just we got somebody really good. His team is just stacked. But that is all that we have to say on Yeltnab and a number 5 spot. Moving on, this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky. This is where it started to get a little bit, you know, tough for us to determine who goes where. So number 4, coming in number 4, we have Game Reviews, coach of the Detroit Lux Race. Again, I was about to say Lions, but I know he'll take either. But Max currently is standing at 2-0 with a +9. First place in the Mega Division, and he is also one of the coaches to hold a weekly MVP for the second time in a row. Actually, he's the only coach in the league to hold an MVP for the second time in a row. So this is it. I've said it before. This is the season of the Lux Race. I'm excited for Detroit. Blaziken put in work. Not a lot to say here. You know, the methodical process that Max went through, thinking through his battles and everything, it was just awesome. I've enjoyed watching him grow from season 1 to where he is now. putting in all of that work, all of the thoughts. I love it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I love it. That's all that I really have to say for Max. What do you have to say?
Yeah, Max is just playing awesome. We touched about it in week 1, and if you missed our week 1 roundup, go to it. It was done at a decent time, so we were in a little bit better moods than what we are right now. If you're starting to wonder what's going on, yeah, it's 3 a.m. We're both ready for bed.
Oh wow!
But yeah, he done well, and we was kind of wondering about the Blaziken and Seismitoad thing. We talked about that too. That thing, like we talked about, has to be adamant for doubled up on attack and just gonna worry about speed from the speed boost. Yeah. Because we were kind of shocked with the Seismitoad speed there. But Max was on point with his predictions. He knew what to do. He was ready to go. Not getting greedy with that Swords Dance, that Mimikyu right at the start of the game, and just going straight for Woodhammer was such a good play because the taunt was coming anyways. So that was a good prediction. Predictions come all throughout this match from Game Reviews Deluxe Rays. And this man is on a roll, and we are excited for that his and Bob's matchup, Battle of the Unbeatens for first place. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're excited to watch it. Let's see what you got, gamer.
Definitely. So that's all we have for number 4?
That's all I got right here, so I'm ready to go if you are.
All right, let's go. Excuse me, number 3. Number 3 is held by Latin Luigi, coach of the Tijuana Gengars. So, while Max's battle was very methodical and very decisive, we did have a little bit of trouble placing Latin, where he is now, again, because of how decisive both battles were. And in the end, we decided that Latin's battle was a little bit more decisive than Max's was. Simply because, we have the Komodo play, and this is where it comes down to a couple of things that went on during the battle. The Komodo play, getting the Swords Dance off, and then doing Poison Jab and the Max Whirlwind, and all of the attacks, basically anything that came in from the Sylveon side, it was just utterly obliterated by the Komodo. Yep. So I personally wouldn't use a Komodo because of how many fairy types there are rampant. However, Latin is definitely proving otherwise, that Komodo is a viable pseudo, and it definitely proved to be a good choice for his draft. Yep. Now, Latin did fall for the Zoroark trap at first. That's what cost him the Gengar. He was able to put to bounce back from it, obviously. I love the fact that how he was able to switch Pokemon out without necessarily wasting a turn by just switching, instead using U-turn and using flip turn in order for them to make room for the Pokemon that he needed. And the flip turn from the Swampert to the Komodo was something that was awesome, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was either a ball attack or some type of attack that was blocked by the ability of Komodo, and so it resulted in a very clean switch for it. Got a Swords Dance up, started nuking the rest of her team. Great call. I love this. The great call on the close combat. Now, Zoroark came out disguised as the Chandelure. We all know fighting type moves don't work on ghosts, but he still went ahead and did it anyway, and he got it. He destroyed Zoroark with the close combat. That was play of the game for me with this matchup. Currently, Latin is standing at a 2-0 with the +7, and he is in second place for the Dynamax division. Again, the reason, even though he's second in Dynamax, we placed him above Max because of how decisive the battle went. It was a reverse sweep. One Pokemon just destroyed everything else. And the way he played too. I think it was a little bit cleaner and whatnot. Of course, if you guys feel differently, definitely leave comments down below. We read the comments, and yeah. Anything you have to say on this one?
So, in my opinion, the light screen was a humongous play for Latin Luigi's side. Because getting it up, made the Ice Beam was the only move that made contact, you know, not do as much coming from the Gudra. And then, you know, we also talked to Landon and Tara after the game, and, you know, if she'd went to Sylveon when that thing first come out, this could have been a little bit different too. But, you know, Landon is playing great. He was able to come in and set up with the Komomomomomo and run it, and he did really well. And this dude is another rookie that is up there undefeated, and he is ready to keep going on and making a push here to making a good run in the playoffs. So let's see what he can do.
I've told Landon this, and I stand by it. He is doing really well. And I think he has a very bright future with the league, should he decide to continue on for more seasons to come.
This man's super intelligent with Pokemon, so it's showing here too. It's showing here.
I'm not sure if he's had prior VGC experience or if he's learning VGC now and he's just practicing with the league. I'm not sure what it is. Landon, of course, if you can tell us your VGC experience, if you feel comfortable with it, of course. But regardless, he has a very bright future with the league. I can't wait to see how the rest of his season goes and more seasons to come, and hopefully he continues to compete because he's got talent. But yes, that is all that I have to say on Landon Luigi and the number 3 spot in our rankings. Now,
oh wait, one more thing. He also had the MVP for that side.
Yeah, he also had the MVP for that side as well, with a +5 and 0 deaths for the Komodo. Absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing that up. All right, so if that is it for number 3, we have number 2. Number 2 being held by our friend Derek Always More Videos, who is the coach of the Kentucky Kinglers. So not much to say on this one as well. Actually, no, I do have a couple of things to say on this one. So, starter prediction on point. Started off with the Galvantula. He started off with Ace. Ace did work. Went off, did an acrobatics on the Galvantula. It lived on one. It managed to get the sticky webs up, which, if left alone and not taken care of, could cause issues. However, he killed the Galvantula. The sticky webs didn't affect Cinderace, of course, because it was already out on the field. And then he, I forgot what Pokemon it was that swapped in. It was the Clefairy, I think it was. He went ahead and he did the Clefable, excuse me. Went ahead and did Court Change. Court Change swapped that field effect, and now Iso had the sticky webs. Anything that came out on Iso's end ended up with the sticky webs. That is a big determinant factor with how the battle went. All in all, another thing that he did, he was good to be cautious with the Haxorus. Dynamax to Palkia, got rid of it off the field. Because if the Haxorus set up a Dragon Dances, it would have run rampant. That's something that can't happen. Sticky Web Reversals saved him against the Urshifu as well, and so he ended up wasting his Dynamax turn on that one. Currently, Derek is standing at a 1-1 with a +2 and is in 4th place in the Dynamax division. And the reason he is in number 2 for the power rankings here is because Derek lost only one Pokemon throughout the whole ordeal. He was down left with the Palkia and the Gastrodon. And even though Iso quit the battle, which there's a new rule set in place, of course, where of course we're no longer allowed to just DC in the middle of the battle like that. Of course, coaches, go ahead and check the rules section in our Discord server. But regardless, it was just down to the Palkia and to the Gastrodon, so it wasn't like he had a whole team left. And the Gastrodon used Earth Power on the Palkia. Palkia still had massive amount of HP left, and it was still Dynamax too. And there was nothing that Gastrodon could do at all. So he only lost one Pokemon. This was a very decisive match, and this is why Derek is in number 2 for the rankings. Anything you have to say on your match, my friend?
You know, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and unfortunately we couldn't get this man's side, as we already talked about. He had some technical issues on the video, so it's unfortunate. It is what it is. You know, he was honestly, I know that he did quit, but he was a good sport about it. As soon as he quit, you can even see in my video, I'm pausing because I'm like, you know, is this something on my end? You know, it gave me the victory, so I knew, like, I didn't quit. I seen when I clicked. But he messaged me right away. It was like, GG, we talked afterwards. So it was no harm, no foul, but we had to set up that rule because moving forward, you know, if it starts getting down to KDs, we're going to need to see how these turn around. And it's Pokemon. Anything can happen. I know it looked bad there, but you may get into a situation where somebody may, you know, disconnect out of like anger if something not going their way. You know, moves have accuracies. What if you miss and then the battle turns around? So, but in this situation, it is what it is. Like I said, message me, GG, all that good sport. It was fun to get back up here in the top of the rankings, and they're weekly rankings too, so they're not based off of our overall records or how the battles went. And this one went well for the Kinglers, and got a tough matchup coming in week 3, so we'll see what we can do.
Another thing in regards to the new rule, it's not just mainly based on the KD, it's more based on the sportsmanship as well. You know, I know my brother plays first-person shooters, and he hates it when people DC. It could be seen as, you know, slightly I don't want to say disrespectful, but if there's another word that you guys can think of, you know, let me know. But either way, good sportsmanship is one thing that we should all have when competing in sports. This is a sport, so don't DC, guys. But that is it. Number 1 spot is, of course. Well, before we move on, do you have anything else to say, or are we good?
No, ready to, you know, and that was no disrespect to Iso. That's just talking in general for anybody else that, you know, because a lot of us do have anger issues. I am one myself. I got the meds to prove it, so you can ask me about that if you want to. But yeah, no disrespect mean here. We're just throwing that out there because we got to keep the league going, and it's all meant about having fun. And that was one of the things that, you know, Iso told me. He was like, hey, you know, I'm in here to have fun. And he seems to be having a good time. He talked about it in the video that he uploaded with you. That he's here to have fun. It was a good match. You know, it fell my way. And let's hope the next 4 does as well. Or 3 or however many more we got.
For sure. Now, if that is it for number 2, of course, we're going to move on to number 1. Number 1, of course, is going to go to the one, the only, the legendary battler, Offline Nuzlocke. Great job in sweeping the team offline. I'm just kidding. No. Number 1 spot, of course, goes to Landon, who is the head coach of the Iowa Incineroar. And he faced against Ace, who, of course, is, again, as I mentioned before, is no longer with us in the league. Currently, Landon is sitting on a very impressive record for this match. The first 6-0 sweep of this season, and the first 6-0 sweep for him, period. Predictions were on point with this battle. We've all get to see how much of a tank Tangrowth is. Currently, Landon is standing at a 2-0 with a +7 and is number 1. He is in first place in the Dynamax division, putting in a lot of work. It's definitely showing. It's definitely paying off. So really, there's nothing for me to say with this one except GG's, Landon. You did great. Ace, if you do end up watching this, I am sorry that things happened the way they did as far as this match goes. I know you know how much of a good battler you are. I just hope that this loss doesn't affect you too much there. But regardless, Landon, GG's, you did really well. That's all I have to say on this one.
So, you know, Landon did great. We're not going to take nothing away from him here, but I am going to put something on point. You know, we talked about Ace there earlier, and he left for his reasons. He has his life, and if he feels like this ain't fun no more and he don't want to do it, then he's out, and that's his decision. He's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. You know, he's still got friends here, as we said in his video. And, you know, me and him joked around, threw some words at each other last season. But overall, you know, I know this, if he reached out for anything, I would respond, and we'd have a good thing going. I know that this man also had some issues with the Switch last season. So, you know, maybe, as we talked about, maybe he wasn't able to get the right Pokemon that he needed to have success in his, you know, 2-game run that he had here, because 2 matches didn't go his way. So it may be with the progress that he had in his copy of Sword or Shield, whichever one it was. But we're not going to take this away from Landon. As you said, his predictions was on point. He was ready. We know that he puts the prep time in. So all that unfortunate stuff with Ace, because we don't want to, we're not here to disrespect anybody and talk about that stuff. So we'll get that out of the way, but we are going to show respect to Landon. He was ready for this matchup, and he is here, and he's going to gun for that championship, man. He's been up in the rankings the last 2 times, and he's just going to keep going. He's ready to go, man.
One last thing that I want to hit on Landon's part and Landon's team. I know that Landon has had help from offline. Again, check him out if you haven't already. And he's had help from him in building his team. At one point, I even questioned why the Noivern. I'm starting to see why the Noivern. I'm starting to see why the Noivern. So maybe the Noivern wasn't the most horrible pick. Another thing as well. I'm very happy about that Landon didn't rely too much on the Vanillix. You know, it seemed like it was from the past, you know, couple battles, even going on to last season and whatnot. It seemed like it was that way, that he was reliant on the Vanillix, kind of like how it was said how I was reliant on Cinderace Season 1, how you were reliant on Cinderace Season 2, and so on and so forth. I'm very happy to see that he wasn't as reliant, and even though he didn't sweep Ace with one specific Pokemon, he didn't lose any. The predictions, the switching out, everything on point. I'm very happy to see how Landon has grown from Season 2 to where he is now. If he wins the championship, or if he makes it to the championship, I'm going to tell you right now, from me practicing with him, I couldn't be any prouder. I could not be any prouder. So I'm very happy for you, Landon. Congratulations on the #1 spot for this week's Power Ranking. All right, so that is it for the rankings, guys. The rankings are going to be on the side, if it's over here or over there. You guys will see it regardless. So definitely, of course, let us know if you guys have had any different opinions on who was ranked and where. Definitely let us know in the comments. While you're doing that, of course, welcome aboard to NateTube, who is going to be coaching. I believe the team name is the Walton Wingles, who is another person from overseas in the UK. And we're going to be... I'm sorry?
Listen, across the pond, another one across the pond. We're growing internationally.
Exactly. So can't wait to see how he plays. I have the extreme pleasure and honor of potentially facing him for my next battle. So I can't wait to see how he plays. Good luck, NateTube. And of course, anything that you need, any help, doesn't matter if we're opponents or whatnot, the league is made to help each other out. So if you're missing a Pokemon, you're missing a Mint, you're missing a certain TR, don't just reach out to me if you don't feel comfortable. Reach out to anybody. We're all here to help. Anything you'd like to say? Any closing remarks?
Yeah, make sure that you guys check out everything down in the description. We also do the roundups on here that break the matches down even more with TimmyB and Infernomen, so you guys can check that out, along with Latin Luigi's top 5 fails of the week, which was a fun video. We really enjoyed it, so make sure you check out those and subscribe to all the coaches down below, including both of us. Always more videos on Guanako Gaming. Won't be disappointed.
Alrighty, guys, that is it for us today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time.
Bye.